The facilities here are second to none. And so after spending all that money, millions of pounds of taxpayers' money as well, they want to pull out and move further down the river. Like for their tenants, their bulk wine and British Rail, all they want is the registered man to go down river and come up daily. It's going to cost them money to ferry us up here, all our equipment, all that goes with it. Also the engineers, if they do the same, and the customs, the lock people and all that, which is a farce. So what will actually happen is that they will stay here, smaller number than they are now, but it still will be working in here. For the simple reason is that the tenants shipping are becoming through the locks, so you'll have to have the lock staff. You'll also have to have police on the gates because it'll still be property in here, so they can't just fling it open and all disappear because you'll have the vandals and all that goes with it. So the money that it costs them now will cost them exactly the same in the future, or as possibly more because of inflation, all that goes with it. It'll cost them more money than what they're paying now anyway. To dredge the dock is the same whether you've got one ship in here or 100 ships in here.
All the lorries were parked down the roads and everything.
That's right, they used to get called on outside you, didn't they?
Did you think the area was better then?
Definitely.
Than it is now?
Definitely, to what it is now, Ted, yeah. I mean, I know, because I was bred and born on this island, so I know the way this island's gone on, so it's worse now on the island what it used to be years ago when everybody sort of used to mix in together and all that, you know. But it was all houses, yeah. But now there's
cash in that issue now.
Yeah, it's not.
And a lot of people used to come and work here, didn't they?
Oh, definitely. From Greenwich, that tunnel coming through from Greenwich used to be packed and going home. I mean, look at the factories, Ted, on this island. There's hardly any now, is there, for people to come and work on it, is there?
Well, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Ted. It's definitely different.
I think it's worse.
To what it was years ago when we first moved. I mean, we used to have all the dockers
outside.
didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and they used to get called on out here and have all the lorries parked up, but now it is worse now.
About some of the women who live down near me who clean in the docks, and they've got no chance for another job. No chance at all.
Well, the ancillary workers.
That's right, the ancillary workers. See, they've never get another job. They've been there all about 55, 50. Who's going to employ them now with no working area?
Since they started retracting the docks, is it worse now than they say it was 20 years ago? Well, what is the main difference you reckon?
Well, if you start looking, not in this dock, I mean, it's gone down a little bit here, but as you come from St Catherine's and London dock, you can see what's happening in them areas, can't you? That all the small businesses have gone out, which associate themselves with the dock industry, and that's it. And that's what happened here.
If we manage to hold off the dock closure this time, I mean, do you really think that there is a future to the dock here?
Well, I think this is one of the best working facilities in any dock. I mean, all our sheds are brand new in Millwall, or virtually. They've all been planned for certain work, all their work conditions, and there's nothing we can't handle. We can handle containers, and that's is the on thing at the moment. I reckon that's going to extend. I mean, we bought the new crane for the docks, never been used.
All they want to do is be landlords, the same as they always have done. They don't want the responsibility of running shipping.
That's as simple as that, really. It's just that they've got the facilities and they don't know how to use them.
Millwall Dock is the most modern dock. There's nowhere in the country anything like it at all. So why should they pick on this particular dock to close? We're going to a condemned dock which had no money spent on it at all. Leaving the dock was millions and millions of pounds to be spent on. And right up to that, we're leaving that dock and we are going to a condemned dock.
PLA have threatened to close various docks. There's been a kind of galvanising of activity and people have started working together. And what I've always tried to do is to keep that going after the initial crisis has been solved in one way or another, so that we do keep the working relationships going. And I think the mood a few years ago when the PLA first started talking about the closure of the upper docks, when we went to see them, I think they realised the gravity of what they were proposing, not only in terms of the closure of their dock, and they were clearly worried about their own balance sheets and so on, but its overall effect on the borough. And I think because of that, that was certainly one of the reasons that they eventually changed their minds, and then they went for their so-called concentration option for the upper docks. But now again they've come back, I think, with this government pushing them very hard and with cash limits to a proposal to close the West Indian and Millwall. The social cost a few years ago, with London docks being derelict in the way that it was quite devastating, and the population was then higher, the skills of people were rather different. The social cost of the closure of the upper docks, although it will still give us difficulties and still give us problems, it's been phased in such a way. I mean, we've bought a number of years. So, I'd still like to see the upper docks kept open. I personally still feel that there is a great deal of a future for cargo handling and for water transport rather than road transport. I mean, with the fuel costs going up as they are, the cost of laying out new roads and so on, I'm fairly sure in my own mind in about 20 years' time somebody quite miraculously is going to suggest opening up all these docks again and say, oh, why did we ever close them? Now, if you had a different government there, I think you might get over this period in the meantime. But this government have put the squeeze on, and this is one of the effects. People have elected a Tory government and they're carrying out Tory policies, and this is what's happening. What we've got to try and do now is to save at least the structure of the docks and to... Now, if you had a different government there, I think you might get over this period in the meantime. But this government have put the squeeze on, and this is one of the effects. People have elected a Tory government and they're carrying out Tory policies, and this is what's happening. What we've got to try and do now is to save at least the structure of the docks and to retain as many of the people and the skill as we possibly can. And that's why what we're talking about with the PLA is some alternative employment in there, but still keeping the basic features as they are.
There was, how many men? There was 27,000 men when I came in 1960, and today there's 5,426 men. So we are decimating ourselves, So if we're not, we feel that we're doing the most that we can do for progress, So to say that we're not doing anything is lies. Outside people think progress and all that goes with it is okay. So we've got to move down with them. Little realising what sort of facilities they have got in the upper docks. Fantastic, really. And it's a crime to put the locks on the gate and waste it. It's as simple as that.